Aja Wilson stood at center court, panting, eyes darting around the arena as the crowd roared in disbelief. WTF, I'm MVP, she screamed, loud enough for those sitting in the cheap seats to hear. Her jersey was drenched in sweat, and her face wore the kind of smug, exhausted grin that only someone who's been on fire for 4 quarters could pull off. She had just finished one of the most ridiculous, jaw-dropping performances in WNBA history. Every shot she took seemed to bend reality. Effortless fadeaways, impossible putbacks, and threes that seemed like they were fired out of a cannon. The scoreboard told the story. Wilson had gone off big time. But before we proceed further, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe. It wasn't just that Wilson dominated the game, it was the way she did it. Aja plays basketball with the ferocity of a street baller, but the finesse of a veteran pro. It's not just about the points, it's the timing, the way she stalks her defender like a predator waiting to pounce. She has this ability to make her opponents think they're safe. Like they'd got her covered, and then bam, she's at the rim, dunking on their dreams. This night, though, it was something else entirely. She wasn't just good, she was untouchable. Meanwhile, somewhere across the Atlantic, Caitlin Clark had made waves of her own. Clark's decision to sign a massive contract in Europe broke WNBA records and sent shockwaves through the sports world. Not only was the contract unheard of in terms of money, but it was also a clear indication that Europe was becoming a serious player in women's basketball. Clark, already a household name for her uncanny shooting ability and basketball IQ, had chosen to cash in, and nobody could blame her. But that move carried implications that went beyond money. The whispers started immediately. Would more stars follow Clark's lead? Could the WNBA keep up with European offers? In the background of Wilson's historic night, the news about Clark's contract loomed like a challenge. Aja, though, wasn't one to back down from challenges. If anything, she thrives on them. They can take all the money they want, she'd probably tell you, but they can't take this. Her performance felt like a response, a reminder that as much as Europe might lure stars away with cash, the WNBA still had the best of the best. She wasn't just playing to win a game. She was playing to remind everyone that the league was hers. Clark's contract had raised eyebrows, but Wilson's game was raising banners. And while one was taking her talents to Europe, the other was here, in front of a packed house, making history with every dribble. The thing with Aja Wilson is that she's always been this way. From her early days as a basketball prodigy in South Carolina, she carried that undeniable swagger, the kind that didn't need to be loud to be heard. A glance, a smirk, a raised eyebrow. All of these subtle gestures spoke volumes about her confidence. When she made it to the WNBA, it wasn't long before she became the face of the league. Sure, she had competition. The WNBA is stacked with talent, but Wilson has that unteachable quality where she makes you feel like the game is moving at her pace, like she's playing chess while everyone else is stuck playing checkers. What makes her so captivating is how she balances power and finesse. She'll muscle her way into the paint, knock you down, and then hit you with a no-look pass or a smooth jumper that makes you question whether you should have ever stepped on the court in the first place. Her basketball IQ is off the charts. It's almost like she's 3 moves ahead, knowing exactly where she's going, where her defender is going, and where the ball needs to be. And when she's in that zone, like she was on this unforgettable night, there's no stopping her. Clark's decision to head to Europe sparked debates across social media, with fans and analysts breaking down the pros and cons of staying in the WNBA versus chasing the big money overseas. It wasn't just about Clark, though. Her decision represented a shift in the landscape of women's basketball. For years, the WNBA had been the pinnacle for female athletes in the sport. But with Europe's deep pockets coming into play, suddenly there were options. For players who had grown up idolizing stars like Diana Taurasi and Sue Bird, staying in the WNBA had been the dream. But dreams change when a truckload of cash is parked at your front door. But Aja wasn't ready to let the WNBA take a backseat just yet. She embodies the heart and soul of the league. Every time she steps on the court, she's a walking advertisement for why the WNBA is still the best place for women's basketball. And she does it with style. Her personality off the court is just as electric as her play on it. Whether she's cracking jokes during post-game interviews, throwing playful shade at her teammates, or sharing her unfiltered thoughts on social media, Wilson is impossible not to root for. She's got that rare combination of relatability and superstardom, the kind that makes you want to watch her every move. And when she screamed WTF, I'm MVP, that night, it wasn't just a statement, it was a battle cry. The implications of Clark's move and Wilson's response are massive. On one hand, Europe's ability to offer lucrative contracts to top players threatens to siphon away talent from the WNBA, which has historically struggled with pay disparities compared to men's sports. For a league still fighting for financial parity, this new wave of European contracts could present a serious challenge. How can the WNBA compete with the kind of money being thrown around overseas? On the other hand, Aja Wilson's performance shows that while Europe might have the cash, the WNBA still has the culture, the competition, and the heart. Players like Wilson are the lifeblood of the league. They're the reason fans pack the stands, why kids buy jerseys, and why people care about women's basketball in the first place. As the final buzzer sounded and Wilson walked off the court, you could see it in her eyes. This wasn't just a victory. It was a statement. They can break all the records they won over there. She seemed to be saying, but over here, we're breaking records where it matters. Her smile, wide and uncontainable, was less about the win and more about the message she had just sent to every player, every fan, and every executive paying attention. She was the MVP, not just because of her stats, but because of the undeniable truth that no matter where the money is, the best players still want to be part of something bigger than a paycheck. Tonight was all about Aja, and as the crowd chanted her name, it was clear that she had done more than just win a game. She had reminded everyone why the WNBA was worth watching, worth investing in, and why it had a future that couldn't be bought, no matter how much Europe was willing to spend. Clark's contract may have broken records, but Wilson was breaking hearts of her opponents, of the critics, and of anyone who doubted that she and the WNBA could deliver moments like this. The ongoing tug-of-war between European leagues and the WNBA for top talent may be just beginning, but Wilson's performance was a reminder that some things can't be measured in dollars and cents. Her game is built on pride, legacy, and love for the sport, things that don't come with a price tag. And while Caitlin Clark's record-breaking contract had everyone talking, Aja Wilson made sure that, at least for one night, the conversation was all about her. As she left the court, with chants of MVP still echoing in her ears, you could almost hear her thinking, "Go ahead, Europe. Sign whoever you want. I'm still here, and I'm still the best." And so, the NBA's future hangs in a delicate balance. The allure of European contracts will continue to tempt players, and the money will always be hard to ignore. But as long as the league has players like Aja Wilson, who can dominate a game and capture the hearts of fans with nothing but pure, unfiltered passion, the WNBA will always have a fighting chance. Wilson's performance wasn't just about winning a game. It was about reminding the world that no matter how many zeros you add to a contract, you can't buy greatness. And on this night, Aja Wilson showed everyone that she, not the money, was still the biggest story in basketball. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to our channel for more engaging content. We thrive on your feedback, so be sure to leave your thoughts in the comments section below. Until next time, keep discovering and stay tuned.